Pisces. Hello, Pisces. Welcome to 8th House Things. I do readings for the collective, and I'm so honored to read for you this evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you might be in the world. I also do personal readings if you are interested in one. You can reach me at mfirst@gmx.com. That email will be down below. Tapping into your energy, Pisces. I got the words, it will get easier. I remember that being said in season 1 of Game of Thrones when Jorah the Mormont says to Dany, she gives Khal Drogo this look like, oh, I can't believe this is my life. And he looks at her and he sees her disdain and he says, it will get easier. And those words came up for you. And I'm curious to see why. And, meditating on the energies prior to starting the reading usually guides my reading. So I'm like, what came first, the words or the cards? Like the chicken or the egg. So let's pull out 4 cards for you, Pisces. I usually start with 4 cards in my spread, and then let's take it from there. And I have the 6 of Coins in reverse, Awakening in reverse, Knight of Coins, and the King of Cups. And Awakening, usually if it's in reverse, I take it to be upright, so I reject the reversal. Very interesting here. We are dealing with a situation where it's heavy. I'm inclined to believe it has to do with a transitional period. Primarily, I'm inclined towards believing it has to do with finances, but there's more to it than that. It seems a little bit more layered than just disposable income, with the 6 of Coins coming out too in reverse, it's as though it hasn't been the easiest time for you financially. And more than anything, it seems as though it's not necessarily the amount of money that you make, it's just where you're making it. So the work environment, your means of just making money has not reaped the rewards that you hoped, right? But this and it's put you to the test, and now you're leading into a phase of your life where you are, I want to say unraveling, hey? Unraveling into a new phase of life. Unraveling into a situation where you're about to see things for what they are. I'm very curious about why the 6 of Coins came out in reverse, though. Because it's like it's like it spells the beginning of something new that's about to take off, and it's closely related to you unraveling. So that's what's interesting, Pisces. And like I said, I wasn't inclined to accept the reversal of the Awakening card. I turned it upright myself, and I hope that doesn't offend you. But with the 6 of Coins in reverse and me accepting it in reverse, I sense that it's a time where things are coming to a head with the way you make your money. And it wasn't really what your heart expected. It didn't work out the way you had hoped. But you at least you're facing that, and that's a start. So we're facing that. And that's it's a worthwhile place to begin, right? We're facing the truth of, okay, it didn't work out or it's not working out, right? So with you being the water sign that has no defense mechanisms, it's now a matter of taking stock of where you're at and making an informed decision of where you'd want to be, right? That's what I'm seeing with the Knight of Coins, followed swiftly by the King of Cups, which came out. And that tells me that you're watching things closely. You're also very in control of you don't want to be caught slipping again. So now you're going to focus your energies not only on the external but on the internal, because you have realized and you've come to realize that you have to be in the driver's seat at all times if you want your experiences within whatever work environment you're in to change. Let's take out two more cards. And I have the Queen of Swords that came out in reverse and the Three of Cups that came out in reverse, right? So it's this like back and forth energy where, and I feel like it has a lot to do with an uncertainty. You know, you're a bit uncertain about yourself. You also don't want to come across as being self-absorbed and selfish. You're very concerned with what people think of you, Pisces. Why? Oh, that's my question. So it's like with the Queen of Swords in reverse, the Three of Cups in reverse, it's almost as though you're afraid to take what's rightfully yours. Also afraid of what people will think of you if you quit, or if you change your career completely, or if you decide to live off grid and, you know, hunt your food. It's like a drastic decision is coming towards you, whether you like it or not. You're watching things closely and you want to control the outcome as much as possible, but you're also afraid of how you might be perceived. And that's not the way the world works. You can't want to take control of your life but still have this fear of what the forces outside of you might say. You know, God forbid they judge you, or God forbid they call you selfish. Who cares? Who cares, Pisces? It's your life. It really is, eh? And you only have one, Pisces. You really only have one. And if you are leading a life that is not, that is, if you are putting yourself in a position where your source of income doesn't make you happy, what are you doing? We usually spend what, 40 to 60 hours working for, you know, to maintain our lives. And imagine being in a position where you're doing this 40 to 60 hours and you hate it, or you resent it, or it's not what your heart expected. And in this day, in this time, especially these last 2 years, we're all doing, collectively, a lot of us are doing that work of just internal work and coming to these realizations that if I'm in a sucky position, why am I there? What good will it do to stay stuck? Because you don't want to disappoint other people. And it's a very Pisces thing to do. You know, I remember I just recently at my job, we got a new coworker, and she's a Pisces, and she's like, because I was explaining to her how in the with there's obviously three water signs. Pisces is the only one that has no natural defense mechanism. The Scorpio has a stinger. The Cancer has its pincers, you know, and that hard shell. Scorpios also have that. Scorpions also have that external, you know, exoskeleton that's hard, you know, that hard exterior. Pisces has nothing. It's a fish. You know, that's your animal. So there's no defense mechanisms. You take on a lot of nonsense that you essentially shouldn't be bothered with as the one water sign that has no defense mechanisms. It's not easy for Pisces. It's hard out here for Pisces, hey? Um but you are very much so one to do what you have to do. You know, you understand your responsibilities, you understand that you have bills to pay, you understand that you have things you have to do. So you're going to take a responsible decision. And I think that's why you're concerned with what people might think, because it seems your moves seem very drastic for someone that's usually quite methodological, very compassionate, thinking of others. But when are you going to think of yourself, Pisces? When are you going to invest in the best decisions for you? When are you going to be selfish and a lot more self-absorbed than people might describe you? Nothing wrong with taking care of yourself, Pisces, and thinking for yourself. And if it means a drastic change needs to happen, so be it. Let's take out 3 more cards for you. Oof. I got the Lovers in reverse. I'm going to honor that. The Star. Yes, yes. And the Moon. It's interesting because this spread seemed very much so having to do with finances and the way in which you make your income. And now we get the Lovers in reverse, the Star, and the Moon. And I feel like you have essentially put yourself, you've sidelined yourself for the sake of others who feel as though they're entitled to tell you what to do, how to live, how to make your income, how to proceed in this life. And now you're at a point where it's like, no, I have done it your way, or I've done it to please you. And now I'm at a point where I deserve to be at the forefront of my own decision making. I deserve to make these decisions for myself and for my well being, you know? And if it means that people get lost along the way or you lose certain people along the way, it's like, yeah, so be it, you know? So it's this kind of stalemate energy where it's like decisions, you know? I don't want to make a decision that's going to hurt anyone, but it's like, mm, when are you going to make it? When are you going to not think of everyone else but yourself? If that makes sense. When are you going to think for yourself? When are you going to make decisions, executive decisions about your happiness and how you lead your life and your passions? I just feel like a lot of like your passions have been sidelined and you're waking up to that fact. You have a big heart, Pisces. You have a strong inclination to protect and nurture the people around you. You're the first person that thinks for others. You know, your heart is huge. And it's both it's one of the most powerful things about you, and it's also something that's caused you a lot of pain because this energy is really reciprocated to you, Pisces. And that's heartbreaking, to be very honest with you. That's very, very heartbreaking. I think as well, I or at least I feel as though you There's a desperate desire to find your place in the world after years of putting your own needs um, at bay. And I think you're at a time where the people that depended on you or the people that needed you most have to learn to stand on their own 2 feet, and it's a good time for that to happen because it's at a point where you can finally venture out and see what makes your heart fly. you know it's a good opportunity for you to finally find out. I don't want to say who you are, but I want to say what authentically makes you tick, you know? So, who you authentically are at your core, Pisces. One more card for Pisces. The Four of Wands in reverse. Yes. I mean, definitely your decisions are going to shake things up quite a lot. Cause a little bit of discord in your family relationships, friendships, close relationships, just the people who, um, I'd say who you love most are going to struggle with the stalemate energy, as well as the decision that you make moving forward, which will be beneficial for you and not necessarily beneficial for them. In fact, I'm inclined to believe that your decision ultimately will have nothing to do with how other people might think or feel. So you are going to end up choosing yourself, right? And this all comes back to you waking up with that awakening card. It all comes back to you seeing things for what they truly are. And finally giving that love to yourself. It's a form of self-love to choose yourself, Pisces. It's a form of self-love to invest in yourself and invest in your passions and your dreams, which you have sidelined. Yeah, especially with that. I'm looking at that Queen of Swords and I'm just like, oh, she seems like such a dreamer. And it came out in reverse. Like she's forcefully making her way through the world, but in a way that's so gentle, and her approach is so confident that it's like, yeah, I dreamed this, so of course I'm strolling through life with no care in the world because I'm going through what's rightfully mine. And so there you are, Pisces. It's a matter of, with all these major arcana as well, the Lovers card coming up, the Star card, the Moon card, Awakening card. It's your time to really invest in yourself. And granted, there will be blood, but as I said when I started, and I started with your energies, it will get easier. So there goes the air coming on. I think that's a good time for me to say adieu to you, Pisces, and I wish you all the best in whatever decision you make. I know you'll make the right one for yourself.